Welcome to Tech Talk, y'all.
Hi, and welcome to Tech Talk, y'all, episode 351. I'm Adam Walker.
And I'm Sanjay Parekh.
And this episode, to remind you, is brought to you by our companies, TogetherLetters.com and Edgewise.Media. TogetherLetters to help you stay connected to the important people in your life without needing to be on social media and see a bunch of posts that you don't want to see. So,
and Edgewise.Media about helping you make a podcast and publish it.
Video content. Yeah,
social media stuff,
all the things
for those of you that are still on social media. So see, we're covering both tracks of it.
Yeah,
you don't want to be on social media, you got Together Letters. You do want to be on social media, you got Edgewise.
That's it.
Boom.
If you want to do both, that's everybody living the dream. So, all right, in this episode, we don't have as many articles as usual, but we have some good ones, and I think we're going to go down some rabbit holes as per our usual. So,
I think that's always right. Yeah.
Let's start out. I'm excited about this first one. Self-driving Waymo vehicles coming to Atlanta in Uber app in 2025. And I think I mentioned this on the show. I saw a Waymo self-driving vehicle for the first time like 2 weeks ago. And I was like, that is the weirdest looking car I've ever seen. And sure enough, that's what it was. So.
I've seen them rolling around town too. They have drivers in them.
Yeah.
But they have the big ginormous rig on top of them.
Yeah.
That makes them look like, oh no, we are being invaded by the robots.
That's right. Clearly
the robot army is coming.
Yeah.
It's the beginning of the end.
I'm excited. I kind of feel like I might order one just for the sheer experience of it in 2025.
I think that's going to be a lot of people, but the problem is that it's only in certain parts of town.
Yeah, I'll have to go to the certain parts of town. Yeah, of course.
Right. I think where you and I live in the suburbs,
nobody out here.
It's not like we're taking that to a meeting in town or something.
No.
It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, for sure.
But it would be kind of neat. Like, honestly, in the suburb that I'm in, if there was one roaming around, like, I would maybe use it for
I would in a
things.
heartbeat, just for fun.
Yeah,
just for funsies.
Just for fun.
Mm-hmm.
Something that you can now use, not for fun, because you need it. FDA approves Apple AirPods as hearing aids. This has been a long time in the coming. They finally kind of deregulated that whole market. We've talked about it in the past, where now people can make hearing aids and not have to be restricted by the FDA and the approval process and all of that stuff. But now even regular consumer electronics can be used as hearing aids.
Dude, this is so cool.
Fantastic.
Yeah, like when it comes out, you're going to be able to take a hearing test on your iPhone that will determine if you need to use them as hearing aids. And then it'll I think, enable a functionality if you need it that will allow you to use them as hearing aids. And like the cost comparison, I didn't realize how expensive hearing aids are. Like they're like
very expensive,
incredibly expensive, like way more than AirPods. And so like while AirPods might have like lower battery life, like at least they're way, you can have 2 sets of AirPods for this. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think there's the added benefit too of like some people that need hearing aids don't wear them because they're embarrassed or whatever else. Yep. Like if you've got AirPods, everybody walks around with AirPods in these, or at least one, right? So like that's
unfortunately, yes,
it's less kind of, whatever, which is great.
Here's one thing that I think is hidden and not really been discussed is one of the most irritating things that we have family members that have hearing aids.
Yeah.
One of the most irritating things about dealing with hearing aids is actually the batteries on those things. There are these super tiny batteries that you have to replace by hand.
Yep.
They're these little button cell batteries and they're tiny.
Yeah.
And as you get older, it's hard to do tiny things like that, right?
Yeah.
Whereas these standard consumer electronic products like an AirPod, they have very easy to use charging cases and things like that just make it easy to deal with that part of the situation. So I think there's going to be add-on effects of this change that are going to be just better for people. So this is good stuff.
All right, next up, Craig Wright said he invented Bitcoin. Lawyers proved him wrong, and basically definitively said, no, he's totally lying about all of these things that he said he was. He said he was what's the guy's name that invented Bitcoin? The fake guy?
Satoshi Nakamoto.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So he said he was the secret that, I do have to wonder, like, I was thinking about this morning. Inventing Bitcoin had to have taken a significant amount of time and effort. And to be able to do that and keep, it's kind of like Banksy. Like, I'm so impressed.
Right.
That like Banksy can keep like whoever they are secret, that it's even better than like the whole like deep throat of the, what was that sex?
Watergate.
Yeah. Like it's even more impressive than that to me in this day and age, that they can keep such a huge thing secrets. Kind of fantastic.
Well, and the fact that they control north of $1 billion, whatever it is, right? In Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Right. And there is no kind of like desire to spend that money or use that money. Right. Yeah. It's just sitting there and just like, whatever. The one thing that I found, there were a couple of things that I found very interesting in this article. They went back and looked through. So this guy said like, oh, here's my notes of when I made, the discovery and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They went back and found out like, oh, well, these notebooks were not manufactured until a certain time. And that date was well past when the thing was created.
What?
So that was part of it. Then there were like other things like that they went back and were like, well, this thing that you claim could not be because it was not invented or produced until well after the date and time that you said you did this.
Yeah.
So that's not possible. And so the way that they kind of captured and tracked this down and said like, no, you're lying about all of these things was honestly, that was the most impressive part to me.
That's crazy, man. And like, why? Like really? Like, why? Like, why lie about
the reason, there is a reason why, because he was starting to send copyright takedown notices for people hosting the paper that was written and things like that, and trying to use this as a way and a mechanism to sue people for money.
Got it.
Because they were doing things around Bitcoin that he said he did not allow or approve because he was the creator. I'm doing this in quotes for the people that are listening and don't see my quotes. And so obviously he was not, and he is not. And the real person is out there just basically like whatevs.
Yeah.
Because they've got, like I said, more than $1 billion. I think it's probably a couple of $1 billion.
Yeah.
And they're not using that, and they don't really care about any of the money part of this. I think so.
Interesting.
It's going to be amazing, years and years from now when I think it will finally come out. When this person maybe passes away hopefully, or something like that, and in their will, it's like, okay, all this money gets donated to charity or whatever it is. And then the story all comes out. It'll be fascinating to know and kind of understand the backstory behind it. I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of movies that come out at the same time. But what there's not going to be movies about is this move. Amazon tells employees to return to the office 5 days a week.
Wah, wah, wah.
We didn't even plan that. We did the same sound.
Yeah. I mean, it's just it's so disappointing. It's so disappointing. They were already there 3 days a week. I mean, like, come on. Like, you're literally reducing productivity. Like the studies show you're reducing. Like, it's crazy. So,
I think about this, and it's, I think I agree with you. You're reducing productivity. Yeah. But I wonder if there's like a different axes on that graph of innovation and serendipity that is not happening, right? So that opportunity for those interesting inventions to happen, those interesting conversations that happen that just would not happen otherwise. You're in the office, and I see that. You're with other people. Yeah, you're just chit chatting, and then things will just come up.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm not purposely just getting on a video phone call with somebody just to chit chat
and hang out and
be
not
like,
really,
hey, so what's going on? Like, so that doesn't happen. So I think there's a balance between these two things, and I think some of it corporations have already done in the past, where they're like, okay, these are like the non-meeting times.
Yeah.
Or these are the quiet work hours.
Right.
Or, if you close your door, nobody's supposed to bother you, things like that. And so I think companies need to reframe this whole remote work thing in maybe that kind of idea.
Yeah.
Of like, look, there should be days where you can decouple from your team,
right,
and just be super focused on getting things done. Yeah. Right.
Speaking of things that aren't getting done, Mozilla exits the Fediverse and will shutter its Mastodon server in December. I will say, if I was going to get on Mastodon, it was going to be through Mozilla's server. So now I'm really glad that I didn't do that. Like that, just like, I'm just so tired of signing up for stuff and then they just shutting it down. Like that's great. So
yeah, hopefully this is not the sign of Mozilla going all Google and just shutting things down left and right.
I think it might just be the sign of Mastodon not being, effective or
well, I mean, there are some big servers that are on that, but theirs never really gained that much traction.
Right.
I think they said in the article, average like active daily users was like 200 or something like that.
Oh my gosh.
It really was not worth the
investment
of time and energy to keep this thing up and running. But something that is worth the investment is this: Uber to verify riders' identities in driver safety push.
Yeah.
So interesting, good. I think maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
this is kind of
drivers need to feel safe. They need to know who they're picking up is the person that they say they are. So they're not some, random, whatever, But
so, when a cab picks up somebody, they don't check your ID. You just get in the cab.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But I think arguably, like, cabs have that partition. They've got like more safety stuff sort of built in.
That's true.
I mean, in an Uber, you're just in that person's personal vehicle most of the time. I mean, so like it's a different level of sort of intimacy there too. I also tag this because I wanted to share on the show that I had the weirdest Uber driving experience that I've ever had in my entire life.
Nobody was driving. It was a self-driving car.
No, it was way worse than that. So dude pulls up to pick me up and I get in and he's in the middle of a conversation and he just sort of waves and he just carries on the conversation on speakerphone the entire way, literally the entire drive start to finish. When I got it, he's still talking and they're talking about this very personal conversation about this woman's son that's like struggling and he's not got a job and like all this stuff. And I'm just sitting there in the back, like, what is happening? Right. It was the weirdest, most awkward Uber. I didn't even give him a rating or a comment. Cause it would have been a bad one. So I was like, I'm just not even going to give you feedback. Like, I don't even want to give feedback to this ride. So yeah, it was that bad.
That is a situation where you should have been, if Twitter was still a thing, live tweeting that thing.
Yes.
As you went.
Yes. It was, so
ages ago, I used to live tweet things that I was overhearing in coffee shops.
Yes. Yeah, I remember that. Yep. I've overheard so many conversations in coffee shops, specifically between like multi-level marketing people and somebody they're trying to sell. And I wanted to just be like, don't do it. Don't do it, man. Don't do it.
It's a scam.
Yeah,
it's a trap.
Yeah.
You needed your Admiral Akbar head to put on. It's a trap. Just don't do it.
Oh, I love that. All right. Next up, Craigslist founder pledges $100 million to boost U.S. cybersecurity. So
this is not a trap. He's a good thing.
He's given away a bunch of money already. I think it's like up to 400 million total or something. What's interesting to me is that I think half of it was earmarked towards like infrastructure and whatever else. The other half was earmarked to get people to use password managers. Like that was $50 million earmarked to get people to use is that really still where we are? Are we still that bad that we need?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, it's shocking to me. Like it's so unfortunate, but
password 123 is probably still the most used password.
It just kills me, man. I don't understand it. It kills me. I don't like it, but
I did not realize that Craig Newmark if you don't know the name, they're obviously Craigslist fame, which we just said.
Right.
I didn't realize he was 71 years old.
I didn't either. He doesn't look 71 in his photo there. He looks pretty young.
He does not. That's what they said in the article. I was like, really?
Yeah.
He's 71? He's been around for quite some time.
As we get older, Sanjay, number one, everybody younger than us looks like children. And everybody older is like, no, they don't look that old. Like that's not like I talked to a dude yesterday, big white beard. And he's like, how old do you think I am? I'm like 60s. He's like, I'm 73. And I was like, I'm an idiot. So, it's us that's changing. It's not their look. It's us. We're the ones, our perspective changes.
Yeah.
So.
No, sometimes I see people that are like 90. You know, they have them on TV. I'm like, that person does not look 90.
Yeah.
They look like a spry 70 or something like that.
Or you look at those weird articles of Tom Cruise side by side with his co-stars from 30 years ago, what they look like now and what he looks like now. It's like, dude's had some good work done. Like that's really, you know, so there is that.
Yeah. Somebody else that's had some good work done on them and they're moving on from it. Disney to stop using Slack following hack that exposed company data. So they lost control of about 1 terabyte's worth of data because one sole person's computer was compromised. And then these people basically scraped all of the public data and the private data that this person had access to on their internal Slack systems. So they're doing this whole thing about like, oh, you know, we're moving to a system that we can have more control and everything else. That's not going to save you in this situation.
That doesn't help you at all. Yeah.
This attack.
You're blaming the wrong thing.
Yeah. Slack was not the problem here. The person that got compromised on their computer was the problem here.
Yeah. That's like saying like, hey, I drove down into this sketchy part of town and I left my door unlocked and somebody stole all my stuff. So now I have to get a new car with better locks. No, you don't. You just got to not leave your freaking door unlocked. That's what you got to do. Yeah. Like, it's very simple. Like, this is a very simple solution here.
You just got to make sure you close the door and then you lock it.
Yeah. Like,
because you already had the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It already worked fine. You don't need a new thing. What you need is people to not leave the door wide open. That's what you need. So,
yeah. So they're like, fine, you're not using Slack because of other reasons. Maybe you're trying to consolidate and things like that.
Yeah.
But don't say that was the reason or try to imply that was the reason that you got hacked.
Yeah, that's some garbage.
That was garbage. Your own bad moves.
Time for the Weird and Wacky segment.
Abominable snowman.
He's not an axe murderer.
One of the TAs turned out to be a bot.
All right, first up and only in what I'm going to call Weird, Wacky, and Dumb. Police department spends $150,000 for a Tesla Cybertruck, faces instant backlash. Who could have seen that coming?
The entire internet.
I could have seen it coming.
Their next step right after this was going to let the internet name it. It was going to be like Kari
Tesla McBoatface. Yeah.
Tesla McBoatface. Tesla McAnchorface.
Tesla McDumbface. So what was great about this is they spent the like $120,000 on the car. Then they spent another $30,000 outfitting it with like decals and lights and like this whole package. And I mean, granted, it doesn't look quite as dumb as a normal Cybertruck currently. But I don't feel like that's the benchmark for success. You know, not as dumb as normal. That's probably not the right benchmark.
That's how I usually walk around. You know, I'm not as dumb as some other people. That's how I promote myself. Fairness,
one of my goals is to be 1% less dumb than yesterday. And if I can do that, that compounds day over day. I'm doing pretty good at that point, really. But
so your tagline is, I'm not as dumb as yesterday.
Yeah, that's basically, that's how I live my whole life, is not as dumb as yesterday.
I think that's yet another shirt I think we really do need to make. I'm not as dumb as yesterday.
Yeah.
I know what you're thinking, but I'm not as dumb as yesterday.
I know what you're thinking, but I'm not as dumb as yesterday. Yeah. There's so many shirts. I saw this one shirt. I think I shared it with you. It was a t-shirt and it said, per my last email, and under each word, it had a stick figure beating the crap out of another stick figure. So it's like, per hit, my hit, last hit email. Like, oh my gosh, it was so great. Like, is there any more passive aggressive statement you can make in this entire world than per my last email? I don't think there is. I don't think there is. So
yeah. That is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Tech wreck, time to get your tech wreck.
Tech wreck. Chicky.
Tech wreck. Time to get your tech wreck.
All right, Adam, it is tech wreck time. What do you have for us this week?
Okay, so this week I'm going to recommend a tech rec that I haven't even started using yet. I'm going to try it out and then I'll report back next week. So it's called sunsama.com, and essentially it helps you with time boxing. So it integrates with, like I use Todoist as my task manager, and it will integrate with Todoist so I can see all my tasks and how long they should take me. Then it integrates with my calendar so I can see what's on my calendar for the day. And then I can be like, all right, I want to do this task, this task, this task. And then it populates those into a calendar for me so that I just know like at 10:30 work on this, at 10:45 work on this, at 11 o'clock work on this. And it's just a way of helping stay like micro focused throughout the day, because I'm increasingly doing more and more things and I need to make sure that I get them all done. And so I'm thinking this might be an interesting way to go. I'm going to give it a shot and see what happens. It's got, I think, a 14-day free trial with no credit card, which is my favorite kind of free trial. And we'll see what happens. So yeah.
So is this a web app or is it a standalone calendar? Like what is
all of those? I think there's a web version. I believe there's a desktop and there's a phone version of it as well. And I think it all integrates together. And so and again, the idea is it pulls in your calendar. You see the gaps in your calendar. You know how long each task is going to take from whatever task manager you use. And then you just kind of go, oh, I want to do this one, this one, this one, this one, fill it in, and then go from there. So
interesting. Yeah. I previously I'd recommended Rise Calendar, which I'm still using and I love that. Yeah. And it's got some great features of synchronizing my calendar so that things don't get scheduled when there's something on one calendar but not on the other.
Nice.
But this is interesting to do this as well. So I might have to take a look at that.
Yeah, give it a shot. It's a good way to be productive. All right, Sanjay, what do you have for us this week?
So I've got something, it's a startup that I've actually invested in that just recently changed name. It used to be called ShopDeft. I might have talked about it before, but now they're called Onton, ONTON.com. And basically what this is what they've gone out and done is they've scraped all the catalogs or a lot of the catalogs of people making furniture out there and gotten all of the details about these pieces, like the color and the size and the shape and the comfort and all of those things. And now they've got a AI builder that will help you figure out how to outfit a room. But also if you just like, look, I need a blue sofa, find me a blue sofa, and it'll give you the pictures of all these blue sofas. And then you'll be like, no, I actually need it with like arms that are like this or the back that's like this. And it'll go out and figure all of that stuff out. So these guys, I've been riding along with them for now, probably a year and a half, 2 years, something like that. And they have come incredibly far. They're starting to blow up. Usage is going up month over month. Revenue is going up month over month. Wow. And it is, I got to tell you, it is a slick product. If you are looking to redesign any part of your home or, you need furniture and you can't figure out what to get, give this a try. I think there's also a free trial there too, but there's paid versions as well if you want to get like super deep into it. But nice. I think this is a good way of getting a room designer without having to pay a room designer.
I love that.
Be able to figure out what you want to go buy. So
love that.
Onton.com. Check it out.
All right. That's great. And Sanjay, how can our listeners find and connect with you?
They can find me at sanjayparekh.com, as well as I've started typing on Threads a little bit, but not so much, but hopefully some more in the future. What about you, Adam?
AdamJWalker.com. You can find links to everything, including my TikTok channel, which has a lot of cool videos. I'm just saying, you might want to check them out.
We're on TikTok too with Tech Talk Y'all, so go find us there as well.
Yeah, look up Tech Talk Y'all on TikTok. Tech Talk Y'all on TikTok.
That is quite a tongue twister.
TikTok, Tech Talk Y'all.
Ted found Tech Talk Y'all on TikTok.